on the just concluded 4th Diaspora Door of Return Festival held in Badagry, Lagos State, Nigeria from October 19th to 21st. It is obviously unmissable. It was an unforgettable experience to many historic African diaspora returnees and Nigerians at home. And of course, do not forget our complimentary segment of health tips and our diaspora of the moment. This is your favorite show, The Diaspora. I am Shalewa Jila, your anchor. Please stay with us. Let's begin with the visit to the Palace of Akran of Badagry. Dr. Julius Garvey, son of legendary Marcus Garvey, has been given a new name by the Akran of Badagry. He is now called Ajibo of Badagry Kingdom, which means in Yoruba language, the child returns home.
Some of our guests have been here before, like Chief Anderson, Johnny, Steve, and who else? They've actually been here before. But they love Badagry so much and what the door represents, and they are here again.
All people seated here. I even appreciate our mama, in the particular mother, in Nigeria. I think that's Itakola. To go to the past, just as the cola nut. The position we also speak to peace. The position of the cast speaks of peace. This is the car from the Akran of Badagry, naming one of his sons, Ajigo of Badagry Kingdom.
Ajigo of Badagry Kingdom.
Ajigo of Badagry Kingdom.
Ajigo of Badagry Kingdom.
You are the Akran of Badagry, and give us a sense to what you are saying today and your new name.
Well, it's indeed an honor for me to be here, and it's coming back through the door of no return, so I'm coming in through the door of return, and it's a very significant honor for me to be made a chief here in Badagry. I consider it very, very serious. I consider it a reattachment to my roots, which was severed by the kidnapping and the transatlantic voyage. But I'm back here, and I feel as if I'm reconnected to Mama Africa through Badagry. So it's been a great pleasure.
Yeah, what's your new name?
I'm the chief
Ajigo.
Ajigo.
Badagry.
Ajigo Badagry.
Ajigo.
Congratulations.
Badagry.
Congratulations.
Dr. David Anderson of the United States of America, who has been to Badagry for 3 consecutive times and with a revered title of Jobu of Badagry Kingdom, and had been named Mountain, added that it is always refreshing and heartwarming coming home to his motherland.
There's no better co-chief than Dr. Julius Garvey, so let's put our hands together for Dr. Julius Garvey and our sister ambassador, Senate. And it's good to be with you. It's good to be back. This is my 3rd out of 4 of these wonderful diaspora festivals. So thank you for warming us and welcoming us.
Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, Chairman CEO of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission and initiator of the Badagry Door of Return, believes that if the event is well harnessed, exploited and positioned, it will become one of the best tourism products of Nigeria, given its diaspora content.
Well, we're glad about this door of return. We thank Governor Sanwo-Olu for the tremendous support he has given. What we look forward to is sustainability, and that means building a permanent door. The door we have built, we have constructed, cost a whole lot of money, but we have to bring it down. So we want to work with the state government to have a permanent door, and that permanent door means at any point in time, you can have this any time of the year. At any point in time, you want to come to Nigeria, you want to come to Lagos, you want to go to Badagry and walk through the door. And with the governor building a rail line to Badagry, I came by ferry. I mean, I don't like water, but I'm now a convert. Thanks to Caverton that brought us here. So that is the future. Build a permanent door, and then this can be a collaboration between the private sector, the state government, and the federal government, so that we can sustain it. There are too many hidden treasures, particularly in tourism in Nigeria. Badagry is just one of them. So this is the diaspora content to tourism. So we are exploring the diaspora tourism. As Dr. Anderson always says, conversation breeds comprehension. If you don't understand me, you can't know who I am. So they've come into Nigeria and said, listen, this is who you are. You have such a beautiful country. We want to invest in your country. They want to build a diaspora palace here in Badagry.
The 27-member historic African diaspora team to the Badagry Door of Return Festival visited historic sites and monuments revealing the true perspectives of the transatlantic slave trade. First point of call was the seat of the British cannon donated to King Ahulu Wawu of Badagry in 1843.
It's the Wawu who united with the British to stop the slave trade. And the reason why we have the 2 cannon guns over there was because, now that's my point where I'm going to. The 2 cannon guns over there, the family, the Wawu family, refused to do business with the other Europeans. So the other Europeans, they were doing the business of slave trading in Badagry, incited the local people against their own people who were against slave trading. The Wawu family were abolitionists. They were against the slave trade. So let us appreciate Wawu of Badagry. So he is a descendant of those who supported the abolition. We talk about abolitionists, they don't give us African names. So it's an opportunity for us today to meet one of the descendants, direct bloodline of those that were against the slave trade here. If you go to Senegal, there are abolitionists, African abolitionists in Senegal. In Ghana, there are African abolitionists. In Benin, there are African. Everywhere in Africa, we were not stupid. And they say Africans sold Africans. You need to understand the history and how that took place. Slavery is universal. It's as old as the human race. But what they came with was not what transpired here in Africa. The name of the family, King Wawu of Badagry. So the inscription is there. It was a gift for the family to protect themselves against the slave traders.
At the Lagos State Heritage Museum, it was a sad recollection of horrendous pictorial presentation of the evils of slavery.
Coming home back to Badagry,
Badagry was a major slave port for upward of 417 years. So slavery began in Badagry in the year 1473. It was abolished in the year 1852, but it continued illegally until 1888 before it was finally abolished. Slave trade, we are told, began around 1445 by the Portuguese, because then they were given the right by the Vatican to explore the west coast of Africa. So this is how they are normally being marched down to the slave market, to the slave market or the slave port. Prototype of the slave ship used on the transatlantic slave. Normally it is divided into two decks, the upper deck and the lower deck. So this was designed for the slave merchant. So this is where the wine and dine, while the slaves were loaded inside the lower deck. And this is the arrangement here. They were packed like sardines. So they lie down facing up, and they could remain in this position for between 3 and 5 months. This gallery is called the Resistance and Punishment Gallery. As you can see in it, we have objects and we have pictures showing different types of punishment meted out on the on the enslaved Africans. So this is a dog catching a runaway slave. In Europe, especially on the English and Spanish plantation, they had killer dogs that were used in hunting down runaway slaves. Once they discovered that slave has escaped, they let loose these dogs, and these dogs were trained to go for their jugular, because the slave master would prefer to have them dead and see them go alive, because they want to use that as a deterrent to discourage other slaves who have been nursing similar intentions. We are talking about Western architectural design. It started here in Badagry in the year 1845. So this is the arc at the point of no return. So you are going there to also get to know more about the point of no return.
The delegation was also at the Moby family museum relics, depicting the height of man's inhumanity to man through the transatlantic slave trade.
Behind me is a depiction of some of the things our ancestors experienced in the Americas. They were not just taken to the plantations, they were also taken to mines, diamond mines, gold mines, in places like Mexico. People hardly talk about Mexico. Of course, it took place in those places. And when they work on the plantations, we should take notice of the way they were being treated. Now, when you look at this image, look at this man, despite the fact that he had the cutlass with him, can he still be free? How will he run when they still chain him while working on the plantation? And you see, you must understand that even the colonizers and the enslavers have fear in their hearts, because he is working on the plantation with cutlass, with machete in his hand. They still chain him down so that he's not free, so that he cannot run away. Now look at his face and see what do you see on his lips? The way you lock your gate on the street of Lagos or in Accra, the way you lock your gate was the same way they lock the lips of our ancestors. So these instruments you are looking at were instruments they were used originally here. They were used originally here. And I need a volunteer to come and hold this. Okay, come closer, man. Okay. Serious. It is. So I need another volunteer to come and hold this. Doctor, you want to hold it? You go. You want to try? So, do I put it around your neck? Now, during the transatlantic slave trade, that sound was scary to the ancestors, because that sound represents pain, suffering. So anytime they hear the sound, it gives them nightmare. So, sir, tell them how you feel, please.
Not good.
Okay. It's not good.
Not at all.
Now, it has been on you for some seconds, and you're saying not good. The ancestors work on the plantation for about 18 hours So they work on the farm and they still have this around their neck for that long. Now you say not good, and my honorable here is already telling me to remove it. But nobody asked anyone to remove it from the neck of the ancestors. It was as pain and terrible as that. Please.
Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you for volunteering.
This is called the mouth for the mouths of the slaves. Slaves working inside the farm were usually not allowed to communicate. Why? These people are afraid that when slaves are working and they are communicating, they can plan on how to attack the master. So they usually pierce their lips with hot iron. In the morning, while going to the farm. And they do what? They padlock their mouth like this, for them not to be able to communicate or eat while working on the plantation.
At the Seriki Williams Abba Slave Museum, relics of Brazilian barracoon of 1840 and point of no return, Berefu Badagry, were visible.
This is the only barracoon that is standing. The bricks, you can see the bricks over there. The bricks they were used to build this compound were brought from Brazil initially. They were all imported. Now this is the real barracoon. Where you are is the real barracoon, and you can see the little window over there. This is the real barracoon. The first room was referred to as the inspection room. So when they come to pick them, the European will stay in the first room. That was where they inspect the teeth, they inspect the eyes, they hit them in the stomach to be sure they are strong enough. Okay, and you can see that little window. That was the only opening for ventilation. This showed glass, all these were not here at that time. 40 people in here, sir. 40 people, 40 human beings. No mosquito nets over there. So they urinated on themselves, they excreted on themselves. And there are 40 rooms. Minimum of 1,600 are kept here for about a month, depending on when the slave ship arrives.
Day 2 of the Badagry Door of Return Festival ended with a heart-rendering theatrical enactment of the boisterous African continent, blessed with rich flora and fauna, demonstrating the dastardly consequences of slavery, the renaissance and renewed hope of the historic African diaspora, reconnecting with homeland, directed by Professor Shola Fosudu.
I just want to appreciate the coordinator of this program, Honorable Dr. Abike Dabiri, for giving us the opportunity at the Badagry Theatre to be part of this program. So I appreciate the Lagos State Government, the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, the African Renaissance Foundation for this great event.
Nítorí ti Nigerians in Diaspora Commission àti ti African Renaissance Foundation, gbogbo yín pátápátá ni mo kí sẹ́, ṣe nítorí ti first law of return la ṣe wà níkàlẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ tòní. Ẹ̀kú ó ti
Many thanks, Nidcombos, for all you do for the diaspora. Up next is our health tips and our diaspora of the moment.
Today I'd like to talk a little bit about high blood pressure. High blood pressure, which is elevated blood pressure, is something that is a very common chronic illness that affects a lot of people. When you say your blood pressure is elevated, it could be episodic or long-standing. And long-standing would be a blood pressure greater than 140/90 that is documented at your medical evaluation.
Now to our diaspora of the moment.
Our diaspora of the moment is Dr. Ijeoma Akunyili. Dr. Ijeoma is a Nigerian-American based medical practitioner. She is the first daughter of the late Dora Akunyili, former Director General of National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, and the ex-Minister of Information. She graduated summa cum laude from the University of Pennsylvania and attended the University of Maryland School of Medicine. She completed her emergency medicine residency at the McGovern Medical School at UT Health Houston. Dr. Ijeoma earned an MPA in International Development from the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University and an MBA from the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania. She is now the first African American medical professional to serve in that role. Dr. Ijeoma has vast leadership and advocacy experience and is currently serving as the president of the Connecticut College of Emergency Physicians. Before her recent appointment, she served for several years on the board of directors of Texas and Connecticut Colleges of Emergency Physicians. She was an assistant professor of emergency medicine at Baylor College of Medicine, Houston, Texas, and she is currently a clinical assistant professor of medicine at Yale University. Recently, Dr. Ijeoma made history after being named the new Chief Medical Officer at the Jersey City Medical Center in the United States of America. Congratulations, Dr. Ijeoma. We celebrate you as our diaspora of the moment.
No doubt you really enjoyed the program. Stick around next week for an exciting grand finale of the 4th Door of Return in Badagry. Stay positive. Bye for now.